Hey everyone, we are sitting down on this video to discuss a very big exchange that our team just completed, led by Mike O'Neill and Andrew.boukather. This was a 20-unit apartment purchase that we closed for an exchange buyer in Costa Mesa, and that investor sold 18 units in the city of Anaheim, went from 18 units in Anaheim to 20 units in Costa Mesa. There's some really good deal points and backstory on how this exchange happened. It wouldn't happen without you two, so it's great to be on the video and hear a little bit about how this transaction took place. Mike, please take it off and start from the top on how this all came about.
Yeah, thanks for having Andrew and I. If you think about the genesis of where the story began, it's from Dan's relationship. He knew a seller that wanted to transact 20 units in Costa Mesa. He's owned this property for some time. And then from that relationship, we got the listing. And when we had this listing, there was a buyer who owned in Anaheim, who Andrew knew, that wanted to eventually exchange their 18 units in Anaheim into 20 units in Costa Mesa. That was more of a flight to quality for this investor. They owned in Costa Mesa, and they were able to get a assumable loan on the Costa Mesa property for 3.5%. And if you think about it, over a year ago, when a lot of investors wanted to exchange, they wouldn't be able to find an Upleg property first and then sell their Downleg property, right? Because of how active the market was, where interest rates were. But this investor was able to tie up his Upleg property first, and then after contingencies were removed there, we listed his Downleg property.
And that loan that was assumable was really attractive. How long of a term left was?
It was 8 years. It was at 3.5%, right? So the exit cap rate on this property was 3.9%. So he was able to get positive leverage in an assumable loan rate for about a little over $3 million.
And the seller was okay with it.
Yep.
Because he got his price and his terms and gave the buyer some time to go out and then sell their Downleg.
Exactly. So we conducted all due diligence material on Costa Mesa. Mm-hmm. And then, as mentioned, as soon as those contingencies were removed, that's when Andrew came in and listed the Anaheim property. He was able to procure a buyer through his network too, and they were able to go non-contingent. Is that right, Andrew?
Yeah, they were. I mean, while you were in that due diligence phase, I was able to get really familiar with the Downleg property because of all of the information you were able to get. We were even able to tour the property. So we were able to go through the rent roll, the utilities, we were able to get clean title, and we were even able to tour the property with the buyer. So by the time they were non-contingent on that 20 units at Costa Mesa, we were able to procure an offer, non-contingent day one. They were able to close prior to the close of escrow of the seller's Upleg, the 20 units in Costa Mesa. And it's funny that you say flight to quality, because this specific buyer is primarily based in Los Angeles, and they see going into Anaheim, an area with less restrictions, an area with a really strong employment base, as a flight to quality as well. So this was an improvement for them. They like the 60s vintage with no tuck under parking. They like that it's off the 5 freeway, very well located, close to good retail and good employers. So it seems like they are experiencing a flight to quality, I guess, in a little bit of a different way.
Right, and I think the main moral of the story for the people that are listening on this video is that for me, for Dan, or Andrew to do this by ourselves, it wouldn't be possible, right? We're able to do this because we had a team. It started with Dan, went from this person to that person, and we were able to assist the client's needs too. And a lot of people were like, oh, I would love to exchange my property, only if I was able to find something to exchange into, and then I would sell my other one. Well, we're able to do that now in this market, and as a testament to Dan's relationship, mine, and then Andrew's.
Yep, no, that's really important, because it's tough to make exchanges. There's a lot of moving parts. There's always some challenges that come along with it, but having a team, everybody played an important role in it, and it wouldn't have happened without each of us, right? So it was a great outcome, and I think there's strength in numbers, especially when a client's working with a team. They're likely to get a better outcome. Well, thanks Andrew and Mike for being here and breaking down this transaction. If you are in the market considering doing an exchange, feel free to reach out to our team. We're here and happy to help. And as Mike mentioned, doing an exchange now, there's less buyer competition. So if we could help structure an exchange for you, or you at least want to talk about it, let us know. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.